welcome to Local SEO Today. I'm Roger Murphy.
And I'm John Vaughn.
We want to thank Kayla, who's on our camera today, and she's doing post-production. So thank you, Kayla.
Thank you, Kayla.
For all the entrepreneurs and business owners that are looking at this video today, John, we wanted to talk about the journey to find a partner when it comes to SEO. SEO is so important today in terms of it's where people search for goods and services, which is the Google, Bing, Yahoo. Search engine optimization can get you there, but now you got to find a company you can partner with. So things to consider when you're shopping or searching for this type of company.
Yeah, so hopefully by this time, you're probably ready to decide as to needing SEO as a service, right? You've already tried different avenues. You've probably tried print, radio, magazines, trade shows.
Radio, flyers.
There's so many different
church bulletins, everything. Yeah.
You've pushed a lot of ads at people, and finally you're ready to give SEO a shot, where you've been reading on it being the best return on your investment. Mm-hmm. Well, now what do you look for in a SEO agency or company or consultant or expert to guide you and really help you get you the good results that they promise?
Exactly. And what you need.
Exactly. So the first thing that you have to look at when looking for an agency is their reputation. So what does that really mean, Roger?
Exactly. Yeah, because there's so many promises out there. People make promises. They and if they offer guarantees, trust me, run the other way. There are no guarantees because we live in this world of Google. And Google, John, they change their algorithms every day. They're always adjusting. What you want is a company, an SEO company that has a reputation that you're going to investigate to see, do they have a track record? In terms of show me case studies, give me references, right? That's what it's about.
And do they have third-party reviews that are not just on their website? Because anyone could put on, some testimonials, upload it onto their own personal website, or is it on a Google review site or industry directory? Find out who is a good representation for what you're looking for. Right?
Many times people ask us, do you have case studies? So that's something that I know is important. Find those case studies, find them for your specific industry with this agency or this company you're investigating or you're checking out. So that's a really big one too.
Yeah, so what you can always do is search locally or nationally for SEO agencies online. And where do they rank? Are there directories out there that actually give reviews and case studies that you can actually look into as well?
Exactly.
Do they have white papers or, just more information about what kind of experience other businesses in your situation or your niche industry has gone through, right?
Yes.
It's very important.
Yeah.
Another thing to really consider when you're doing this reputation research is, what is the reputation like about that company, right? So what is their about us all about? How long have they been in business and whatnot, right?
Yeah. And there are many young companies out there, and they'll say, trust me, I know what I'm doing. Give me a chance. And I know you want to do that. But if you're on this journey today looking for an SEO company, frankly, time is money. And do you really want to give someone a year of your business's, potential growth to, well, they said, I know I can do it, and I thought I'd give them a shot. The reality is you got to go with case studies. You got to go with solid evidence of, do they have experience in the industry and experience in my specific industry, and have they done successful things for other businesses? So reputation, that's huge.
So that's the first thing.
Yeah.
The second thing that I would really consider when looking for an agency is their responsiveness. So how do they get back to you regarding any questions? Do you have a account manager, account rep managing your account? Like, who is your main focal touch point?
Yes.
right? How available are they? Is it overseas or is someone local? Like, what is their mode of communication? Is it by email? Is it a phone call? Like, how do they communicate and troubleshoot with any situations that may occur?
Here's, it's not a tip or a trick, but the truth is, when you're doing this research, of course, you're going to be checking their reputation. When you ask, these other businesses that are working with this particular company and get a referral or, give me a testimonial or what you think of them, you want to ask them, how are they with responsiveness? So you actually, I guess really you're interviewing these other businesses to see, is this SEO company doing the job for you? And I can say, John, the point I wanted to make was smaller agencies, smaller businesses tend to be able to be more responsive. The larger the corporation, generally speaking, you cannot talk to someone directly. You must send emails. You have to open a ticket. It takes days to turn around, etc. So there are positives with a larger corporation, but the negatives sometimes, at least for me, I've seen too many times where it's so frustrating because things you're not being attended to quickly.
Yeah, so that's great.
Yeah.
So I think the third thing that's very critical is the depth and knowledge and service offerings of that SEO agency or that company that you're looking at hiring, right? So when they say they are experts in SEO, what kind of facets of SEO are they really doing for your campaign?
Yes.
Right? And who is actually doing it? Do they have consultants doing it or are they doing it in-house?
Yes.
So there's a lot of variables within SEO that you need to really consider,
Yes.
right? So just to give you a couple of them, I mean, do they have developers actually doing the fixes for you, right? Do they have an SEO team to check all the different backlinks or on-page errors or technical recommendations that are slowing down your site? There's so many things that may be wrong, right? They need to clean that up.
Exactly.
Do they have a content team? What's the strategy behind that? Where do they need to fix your service pages? How are your meta title tags and description? Or do they write blogs for you on a regular basis? Right?
In truth, Google is looking at over 200 signals of what's going on with any website. And those signals, Google will decide, and it's all automated, will we serve this website up on the search engine results page based on these factors? Does it have the proper meta tags, as you're saying, John? Does it have the content? So what you want to do is when you're talking to this SEO company, you want to know, number one, what are the range of services you provide? And more importantly, is it done in-house or is it subcontracted out? You do not really, I mean, it's your choice, but you really would prefer to have a team that's all internal, that no one is passing the buck and handing off responsibility to someone else. Everyone is working inside an ecosystem of graphics, developers, citation builders, people doing your backlinks,
content,
and no one is outside this ecosystem, and you're waiting to hear back from someone. It's all done in-house. That's a huge issue. So it's your choice, but we know it's better to have make sure you know all the services that are being offered, and are they being done in-house?
Yeah, I think the big thing about having an in-house team of SEO experts is communication is streamlined. They get to understand you as a client easier, as opposed to explaining it every single time, right? So I think onboarding is a lot easier, and it allows you to get the best return on your investment.
Exactly.
Once the team or the agency is actually working on your campaign fully. Right?
And what you want to ask when you're on this journey, ask this company, show me or give me a breakdown of what services you are offering for me. And I will say, John, and I've seen this in our industry, and I've seen some other SEO companies don't provide all the services. They just don't think it's that important, or they just go, maybe it's too expensive to provide it, so they don't do it.
Yeah. So really compare apples to apples as opposed to apples to oranges, because someone that's not writing you a monthly blog, which takes 4 to 6 hours to write a comprehensive blog on your behalf versus someone that says they, are like, that's a huge thing to really consider, right?
Yeah.
Or how is their backlink strategy? How is their social engagement? There's a lot of factors.
Do they check for toxic links? There's so many things.
Exactly.
So the reason you're looking for an SEO company today is it can't be done by yourself. That's why we're going down this road of this journey. How do you find a good company? So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So the fourth thing to really consider is the price and value of what you're getting.
Sure.
Because ultimately, what you're trying to do is partner with an SEO agency that will get you to where you want to be. You're probably not getting the amount of leads you're getting currently. You're not ranked properly on certain keywords on your in Google. And what you want to do is get more visibility, more organic traffic, and in essence, generate more ready-buy customers.
Exactly. And
right?
it ties in with our previous one, but the number of services that are going to be offered and at what price. So you want to know, and something too, it should be mentioned, you want to be careful on this journey when you're asking about price. Find out, is it an all-in package price, or do they, we're X number of dollars, but for every time we touch your website or we do this, it's an extra fee and an extra fee and an extra fee. So you'll decide whether that's a comfort level to you or not, but the reality is how much am I paying for what am I getting, and do I have a known amount that I can budget for every month? If you don't have a known amount, and some months it's way up and some months it's way down, that becomes problematic. So.
Yeah, it's projections. And there's a lot of agencies out there that do a one-time setup fee or a monthly retainer, or it's a pay per hour. And every time there's a recommendation or a page that needs to be fixed, you might have to consult with your developers in-house or outsource to make that implementation happen. But all they do is the work and recommend it for you to do it. Right? So just find out what your comfort level is and figure out what's good for best suited for your business.
And the next one on the journey, there's a number of them, but the one I like to talk about is experience in your vertical. A vertical meaning if you're a dental office, if you're a physiotherapist, if you're a lawyer, those are all considered verticals. So the agency that you're interviewing, what experience, do they have any experience in your particular industry? That's got to be huge.
And that's pro and con, I believe, because, if someone is in your local area and they're a dentist and they're also using that agency, how many other dentists are using them in that local area, right? However, experience-wise, you want someone that actually knows your language, knows the services that you as a, dental practitioner, for example, is going after, right? And what kind of results do you believe and anticipate you can get in return, right? But again, this is all done in the research phase, and just feel comfortable, right? The big thing is know what this company has done for your service niche.
That's it. I almost would like to, I would offer and recommend, I wouldn't go with an SEO. I would think twice about an SEO company that just strictly does your industry, because all of a sudden things start to look very similar and cookie cutter with other ones. I would I would recommend to you as a business owner, find a company that has experience in your industry but does other ones also. So they have pros, they have tips and tricks and strategies they've done for all different industries. And again, anyway, this is something you'll uncover when you're doing your interviews.
Yeah, and again, make sure they have references, case studies for these specific industries similar to yours, so that you can actually call them and check how they've done. Make sure they're not competing directly with you, however. Right?
The next one, which I like, John, too, is ask, when you're on this journey asking and interviewing SEO companies, do they understand your geographic market? Do they understand your city? Because you're not just a city, but there are other neighborhoods and there's regions and there's different search patterns that go on. If you're dealing with someone outside the country and they have not really a clue of what your city's all about and how far one city is to the next one, that wouldn't serve you very well. So make sure this SEO company, John.
Yeah, I've had a lot of situations where a lot of clients have used overseas SEO agencies, and they go after supposedly the city Ontario, thinking it's a city. And if you actually live here in Canada, Ontario is a province, and it's a very large province with hundreds of cities within it. So make sure you go with an agency that actually knows your city, your postal code, your region, your communities within the city, the neighborhoods, so that you can actually get the best relevancy and the best return based on the content that they provide, the website, geo-target citations, any links that you go after. It's something that's very important because all these are signals that Google's looking for, and if you're able to match what the user's intent is, then you can actually get the better rankings.
I was going to just touch on that. The reason you want someone that knows your geographic market is because Google understood and came to realize just a few years ago how important local search is when it comes to buying goods and services. If you need a lawyer and you're in New York City, you're not just going to put in lawyer, you're going to put in Brooklyn lawyer, or you're going to put in Toronto lawyer, whatever it is. People tend to put a geographic target with it. So it's important that an SEO company that works for you knows your market.
And that's great. Well, I think the next big point and topic is really the size and really when you're looking for an agency, how big is the SEO agency currently? How much can they handle?
Yes.
Or if they are a boutique size agency, which has a limited amount of people that they want to take on so that they are not bottlenecked ever, right? Yeah. So capacity, this allows for better service, I believe, as well.
There's always pros and cons. The larger the company, there's comfort in it. You know they're not going away. You know there's customer service if you have a problem. There's lots of good things come with a very large company, but you also pay a price, meaning and we talked about it a few minutes ago, they're not responsive. They cannot, because there's too many thousands of clients that they're trying to look after. So that idea of when you're investigating and searching out a company, find one that knows and can perform the service, but also be responsive to you.
Yeah, and once you get too big, it's a ticket system, the delays, you're maybe just a number as opposed to everyone knowing you by first name.
Exactly.
If you're going with a boutique kind of agency, they get to really know you. They sit down with you, they explain everything, and you get to really know them and like them, and you build a stronger relationship, right?
Sure. And then they can respond very quickly. I see it certainly in our industry, and what do? We can get things turned around sometimes in 2 hours. But larger companies, they need 10 business days to do something, generally speaking.
Perfect. Yeah. And I think the last thing that you really want to consider when looking for an SEO agency is what exactly are they doing for you on a monthly, weekly basis, or what kind of reporting are they doing? What is their kind of roadmap? What is their strategy, right? As long as people are kind of transparent in terms of this is what we're kind of doing for you, it gives you a sense of comfort.
Yes,
right.
Yeah, because people always ask, and you'll want to know too, what am I getting for my money? When you buy a vehicle, you go, oh, this is a nice, whatever brand, a BMW, a Toyota, Lexus, this is what I get. In SEO, it's difficult because there's so many activities that are going on behind the scenes that you kind of go, it's magic. How does it even come together? So
yeah, and there's so many variables, especially if you're not in the industry and you're a business owner, and you probably get a lot of emails and calls, people promising you that they can rank you. All SEO companies are not created equally. What are they doing? How ethical are they? Are they doing things that can fast track you? Or are they doing things that will, that's the proper way, right? Like
fast track is not particularly a good thing to do.
Yes. Are they buying backlinks, or is there ways that you should be earning things? It takes time to rank on Google. And what Google knows is they have their their AI, they have their rank brain sifting through millions of websites on a daily basis, and they kind of know factors and signals that really move the needle. So working with an ethical SEO agency that's trustworthy, that has a solid reputation, that's all the factors that we talked about.
Exactly.
It's very important, right?
John, this has been very informative. There is one last thing I'll just touch on, and maybe you could speak to it also, but it's about guarantees. When you're doing your research, if someone guarantees you something, and this is in SEO, this is in search engine optimization, where you are going to be naturally, the goal will be to have you naturally appear high ranked for a number of keyword phrases for your industry. If someone says, I guarantee you, my suggestion is walk away, go run the other way. There are no guarantees, John.
Yeah, I think ranking guarantees are probably the most common that you probably may hear. Like, I'll get you to #1 placement on Google. Well, if someone guarantees you that and they're an SEO agency, I would turn around and walk away, because even on Google's website, they tell you what to look for in an SEO agency, and guarantee is definitely not one of them. Another guarantee you get is maybe the number of backlinks and all that stuff. You know, if you're doing proper outreach and a proper backlink campaign, there's no guarantees, because it's not in your, like, you have no control over what a site of a backlink would be doing for you, right?
So in a nutshell, though, when on your journey, you'll understand all this, or get a much better sense of it, when you ask for references and you learn about the reputation of any particular company you're interviewing. So at the end of the day, you'll look for that. You'll get a good comfort level of, I think these people will do a good job for me because they've done a good job for these other companies.
Yeah, and make sure they're in alignment with your goals, your mission, your core values, the people that you're working with. You build a strong relationship. There's all these other variables and intangibles to look at.
Well, John, thank you for this podcast today. This topic was very informative. I think it'll be very helpful for these businesses that are out there searching for SEO partners.
Well, thanks a lot, Roger.
Thank you, and good luck on your journey.
Thank you.
Have a good day.